I've always believed there's nothing more satisfying than watching a field you planted turn green in the spring. My name's Mark Reynolds, and I farm the last big chunk of farmland on the edge of a fancy new HOA subdivision. Folks in the neighborhood like to jog by my fields and brag about living in the country, but they don't like the smell of fertilizer, the dust from my tractor, or the fact that real farming isn't always Instagram pretty. Nobody hated it more than Karen Peterson, the self-appointed queen bee of the Oakwood Lakes HOA. She'd shown up at my front door twice last year, once to complain about the noise from my irrigation pump, and once to tell me my corn blocked her view of the sunset. The final straw came in early April. I just put in a new field of soybeans right up to the old fence line. 2 days later, I came home from the feed store to find a bright orange notice nailed to my gate. It was from the HOA. Your crops are in violation of the Oakwood Lakes landscaping standards. It read, signed in perfect looping cursive, Karen Peterson, HOA President. I nearly laughed myself silly, but the next morning, 3 men in neon vests showed up in a pickup with a trailer. One climbed out with a clipboard and said, "We're here to remove the unauthorized crops per HOA order." I pointed at the field. "You're planning to dig up 80 acres of government-leased soybeans?" The guy frowned. We just got told this patch was non-compliant." So I told him the part Karen didn't know. The land wasn't just mine anymore. 2 years back, I'd signed a 10-year lease with the USDA's Conservation Reserve Program and a soil research project. The government pays me good money to grow specific crops here for soil restoration studies and wildlife support. In return, the land's basically protected. Nobody, not even me, can disturb it without going through layers of federal red tape. I called my contact at the USDA while the crew stood there, shifting their feet. An hour later, a black SUV rolled in. Out stepped Agent Hawkins, a soil conservation officer who looked like he'd rather be fishing than dealing with Karen Peterson. Karen herself arrived right behind him. She stomped over in her yoga pants and big sunglasses, waving a printout. "This land is an eyesore. We voted to remove these weeds." Agent Hawkins flipped open his badge. "Ma'am, these weeds are federally funded agricultural test crops under the Conservation Reserve Program. Tampering with them is a federal offense." Karen's mouth dropped. "I beg your pardon? This is our neighborhood. We have rights." Hawkins didn't even blink. "You have rights on your lawn, ma'am, not on USDA-protected land. If you or your hired crew damage these fields, you'll face fines and potential charges." Karen tried to protest but realized quick she'd lost. The crew packed up faster than they arrived. Agent Hawkins thanked me for the heads up and gave Karen a pamphlet about agricultural land rights, which she snatched from his hand like it was a ticket to the moon. After they left, I put up a new sign at the gate. USDA leased research farmland. Trespassers will be prosecuted. So far, it's been real quiet. Karen still glares when she jogs by, but my soybeans keep growing just fine, and the sunset still looks just as pretty over the tops of my crops. Turns out, when you mess with a farmer who's got Uncle Sam on his side, you better read the fine print first.